Hello everyone. Today we shall discuss about the first chapter, that is units and measurement, and today I will discuss about errors. Now in errors we will define some terms that is important for us. In errors you will find in errors there are some terms we have to define. First one, what we call in errors is accuracy. What is accuracy? Accuracy. Actually, accuracy. In errors, these terms are very much important, for we will learn all these terms. Accuracy, what is that? Accuracy refers to the closeness. Accuracy. Accuracy refers to the accuracy refers to the closeness refers to the closeness of observed values to the true value to the true value of any quantity that is accuracy. What is that? That accuracy refers to the closeness of observed values to the true value of any quantity, that is accuracy. It is dependent on how many significant figures. It is dependent on how many significant figures, how many significant figures it carries. How many significant figures it carries. That is accuracy. The accuracy increases with increasing significant digit size. The accuracy increases. The accuracy increases. The accuracy increases with increasing digit size. That is what we call as accuracy. Again telling the point, accuracy refers to the closeness of observed values to the true value of any quantity. It is dependent on how many significant figures it carries. The accuracy increases with increasing digit size. There is number 2 term, is what we call it as precision. What is that? Precision. Actually, precision refers. What is that precision? What is the meaning of precision? Precision refers to the closeness between the different observed values of the same quantity. Precision refers to the closeness between the different observed values of the same quantity. What is that? Precision refers to the closeness between the different observed values of the same quantity. It defines the limitation of measuring instrument. It defines defines it defines the limitation it defines the limitation of measuring instrument instrument. So this is known as precision, and it is dependent on list count. It is dependent. It is dependent on list count. It dependent on list count. That is smallest value. That is smallest value. Smallest value that can be measured. That can be measured. That can be measured. That can be measured by the measuring instrument. By the measuring instrument. By the measuring instrument. So it is dependent on list count, that is the smallest value that can be measured by the measuring instrument. The smaller the list count, greater is the precision. The smaller the list count, 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 greater is the precision. Greater is the precision for a measuring instrument. So what we find here, accuracy refers to the closeness of observed values to the true value of any quantity. It is dependent on how many significant figures it carries. The accuracy increases with increasing digit size. Precision refers to the closeness between the different observed values of the same quantity. It defines the limitation of measuring instrument. It is dependent on list count, that is smallest value that can be measured by this measuring instrument. The smaller the list count, greater is the precision for a measuring instrument. Now we learn about another term, that is error difference, error of measurement. Now we learn about error. Error difference. Error difference is the true value in the true value. Error difference in the true value and the measured values true value and the measured values of a quantity is called error of measurement. Is called error of measurement. So what we can say here is that error difference in the true value and measured values of a quantity is called error of measurement. The errors in measurement can be broadly classified as systematic errors and random errors, right? The errors in measurement, the errors in measurement can be broadly classified as systematic errors and random errors. As systematic systematic error and random errors and random errors. Now, in the systematic errors, there are three types of systematic errors. Now, one what we call it as the systematic errors, the systematic the systematic errors are those errors. Systematic errors are those errors that tend to be in one direction, in one direction, tend to be in one direction, either positive or negative, either positive or negative, or negative, right? And some sources of systematic errors are given as some sources of systematic errors are given as number A, instrumental errors, instrumental errors, so these arise due to imperfect, these arise due to imperfect design, inferior design or calibration of the measuring instrument, that is instrumental error, measuring instrument. Number two, what we call it as imperfection in experimental technique or procedure. Imperfection in experimental technique, or procedure. This is also one of the systematic errors. Imperfection in experimental technique or procedure. What it says that it occurs due to external conditions. It occurs due to external conditions, such as change in temperature, change in temperature, humidity, wind velocity, pressure, etc. During experiment. So this imperfection in experimental technique or procedure. And the third one, what we call it as the personal error. Third one, what we call it as the personal errors. These are systematic errors. Personal errors. Personal errors. So in here, these arise due to an individual. These arise due to an individual. These arise due to an individual's bias. Individual's bias. Lack of proper setting. Lack of proper setting. Lack of proper setting of the apparatus. Of the apparatus. Apparatus. Or individuals. Or individuals' carelessness. Or individuals carelessness in taking observations without observing proper precautions. So these are three types of systematic errors. And the second one, what we call it as random errors. Second one is random errors. Random errors. What are these random errors? The random errors are those. The random errors are those errors which occur irregularly, which occur irregularly, and hence are random. With respect to sign and sight. With respect to sign and sight. So this what we call is that random errors. They arise due to random and unpredictable fluctuations. They arise due to random and unpredictable fluctuations. Unpredictable fluctuations in experimental conditions. Personal errors by the observer taking reading, etc. So these are random errors. And another important is that one is the list count error. The list count error The least count error is the error. The least count error. This one is another factor about the least count error. The least count error. The least count error is the error is the error is the error associated with the resolution of the instrument, with the resolution of the instrument it occurs in both random it occurs both in random and systematic errors. Systematic errors. In the next session, we learn some terms about errors. Thank you everybody for watching this video.